All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 143. Today on the show, Dan Crenshaw tells us how dumb we are for not supporting a Senate bill that legalizes illegal immigration and gives all of our money away to Israel and Ukraine again. Then, Tucker is interviewing Putin. That's going to be big, and it's certainly worrying the deep state. Then, in Cringe of the Week, this woman tells us that being on time is actually white supremacy. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, a government program gave $10K to this single mom, and you won't believe what she did with the money. Actually, you might be able to guess it. All this and more, it's Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 143, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Rapboy.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, if you're like me, you're constantly looking for ways to trick your brain into breaking your bad habits. And I'm here today to tell you that I found a product that does just that. I'm not talking about seeing a hypnotist or taking pills or going to talk to a doctor. I'm talking about our sponsor, Fume. Fume helps you redirect your actions from bad habits to just habits so you can accomplish your goals without drastic, unsustainable changes. Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy, and it makes replacing your bad habits easy. Fume tastes great and is fun to fidget with. Start with a new good habit by going to tryfume.com/Fleccas and pick up their journey pack today. That's tryfume.com, tryfum.com/Fleccas. The code Fleccas will give you 10% off at checkout. Tryfume.com/Fleccas is the site. Link is below. Thank you guys for watching. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Fume for supporting the show.
Thank you, Fume.
It's very important to quit your bad habits, especially with where things are going. The world's going to end soon, and your bad habits might cost you your life. All right. First things first, Tucker-Putin interview coming very soon. Tucker just met with Putin, did an interview, and I'm assuming it's going to be put on Twitter, a.k.a. X. And then remember, the Trump-Tucker interview got 267 million views.
Yeah.
So this one might do a Billy.
Yeah, I think so. I'll be retweeting it for sure and watching with great interest. I'm looking forward to seeing what a guy has to say through a trusted media personality like Tucker Carlson that I know will be fair.
Yeah, fair and balanced for sure. And
people like Adam Kinzinger are like crying about it, saying treason, traitor. And it's like, no, you're just in a proxy war with Russia. We're not actually at war with Russia, the other nuclear power across the world that has intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know that little country?
Yeah, exactly. The proxy war. And then they call Tucker a traitor while they like bring in all these illegals, millions and millions, and Tucker's the bad guy.
A lot of traitors in America right now, and Tucker's not one of them.
Yeah, a lot of traitors calling people traitors these days.
It's Spider-Man meme shit.
So obviously Vladimir Putin has a lot of our secrets.
Oh.
Everything from the moon landing to the 2020 election, I'm assuming is fair game, which I'm excited about. And I also wanted to get this on the record, and this is, I'm not speaking for Richard Rapboy here.
Please don't.
But I trust Vladimir Putin more than Joe Biden. Is that crazy?
You know, when it comes to 2020 election fairness, it's funny because they tried to discredit Putin as much as possible with 2016 election interference made up, and then they steal 2020, and then Putin, like, what, he can't comment on it now because you made up rumors about 2016? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully maybe this interview will end with like Putin liberating us from our LGBT tech banker overlords. That rule over us in this soon-to-be third-world country.
I do crave relief from those types of overlords. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But
And I also want to get on the record, speaking for myself and not Richard Rapboy, that I also won't be believing the false flag that they do where they say Russia did a nuclear attack or blew up a nuclear reactor in Ukraine. It was not Russia. You heard it here first. You heard it here before it even happened.
smart. Before the event.
All right, let's move on. Let's get into some good stuff. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
The guy who could have been our guy.
Yeah.
The guy we were hopeful for.
Yeah.
Let us down again. I'm realizing now, or I've known this already, but
Speaker of the House?
it's more obvious now. If someone becomes Speaker of the House and they get voted in, that's pretty much a sign they're not our guy.
Yeah. It's actually impossible for populists and true right-wing populists to get their guy in because then the money stops to certain countries and the money to certain buddies and friends stops. So they need a guy who's going to do those things, and then they kind of trick us, our wing of the right wing, to voting for him, right?
So the fact that he got in is like evidence that he's not our guy. He's allergic to keeping it 100.
Yeah.
And he's giving now in this thing $14.3 billion to Israel, which is actually going to be like $17 billion.
Yeah. Israel, Ukraine. Are you talking about the immigration bill or the standalone Israel just giving money to Israel?
The standalone Israel.
Yeah, which Thomas Massey was complaining about, as he should. He says the speaker just announced that next week the House will vote on a clean bill to send Israel $14.3 billion. Israel has a lower debt to GDP ratio than the United States. This spending package has no offsets, so it will increase our debt by $14.3 billion plus interest. I'm a no. So yeah, they have a better ratio than us, but we have to send them money because I don't know. We need 39 trillion in debt instead of 38.
Yeah, well, we do have a lot of extra bye-bye money. You know what bye-bye money is? It's money that gets collected by taxpayers and then goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
They just send it.
It goes off into the ether somewhere. I don't know. And, there used to be kind of like a loose, social contract between the U.S. government and its citizens that most of our tax dollars would at least be attempted to get spent on us. And now it seems like that contract's just over, and we never talked about it. They just started doing it.
Yeah, but we can't we have to be fair with this. So we kind of need to show both sides. Okay. Obviously, there is an upside of sending $17 billion to Israel. The military-industrial complex stocks will go up.
Yeah.
And also we'll be able to continue the thousands-year-long blood feud war that's been going on in the Middle East between the Muslims and the Israelis.
That's important to keep that going.
So we can't just say everything's negative. There are some upsides to all of this. Also, I wanted to get this out there. Do you know that if you complain about the money going to Israel, you're basically saying that you are pro-Holocaust?
Yeah. I've heard that before. I saw some tweets to Massey who were saying that you're doing the Holocaust again, which I don't know how that works.
And you might be saying, oh, Fleccas, you're exaggerating. It's not that bad. No one's actually doing that. But look at this next clip. Josh Hawley versus Mayorkas. They're talking about the border problems. And look what Mayorkas refers to when complaining about Josh Hawley's question.
Frankly, Mr. Secretary, I think that your performance is despicable. And I think the fact that you are not willing to provide answers to this committee is absolutely atrocious.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
If you'd like to have a minute to respond, you are welcome to.
I would, and I'm not sure I'll limit it to 60 seconds.
That's fine.
Senator Hawley takes an adversarial approach to me in this question. And perhaps he doesn't know my own background. Perhaps he does not know that I am the child of a Holocaust survivor. Perhaps he does not know that my mother lost almost all her family at the hands of the Nazis.
Wow. I didn't realize that we had that situation. We need to keep the border open so all these millions of illegal third worlders can come here. Because Mayorkas' grandma had a tough time in Germany in the 1940s.
Wow. Open border forever for anyone who wants to get here just because his relatives had a tough time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
We need to ignore his behavior because of the Holocaust.
That's crazy. And honestly, shame on us for even bringing this up because I didn't know that until right now when we played it. So that's on us. We have to change our whole worldview.
You don't want an open border, you must want Jews dead. But it's like, aren't you bringing in third worlders from like Somalia and other Muslim countries that want Jews dead?
Low impulse control people. Yeah, you've seen the Hamas. You've seen the Hamas parades and the blocking of the streets too.
So if it's a Jews dead thing,
you're not consistent, right?
You're not consistent. And then emotional extortion is the word I'm putting on this.
Yeah, very feminine. Very feminine.
Yeah, like you could look at the facts and go, is this good or bad? What should we do? But then once you go, well, my family, they died in the Holocaust. It's like, so we have to ignore policy and the border policy entirely because your grandma was persecuted?
Yeah,
in Europe?
Mayorkas coming back from like a grocery store trip, and he's like, my family had a really tough time. You can bring in the groceries. Like it's just he's dumping off all his little errands and chores on people.
Yeah, and if you notice trends, that's a trend that you can notice pretty easily.
Very.
Dan Crenshaw is at it again too. He's basically telling everyone they're stupid for not supporting the Senate bill that legalizes illegal immigration. We'll play his clip and then we'll kind of break the bill down.
The height of stupidity is having a strong opinion on something you know nothing about. I'm extremely disappointed in the very strange maneuvering by many on the right to torpedo a potential border reform bill. If we have a bill that, on net, significantly decreases illegal immigration, and we sabotage that is inconsistent with what we told our voters we would do. People will make up.
Oh, so he tells everyone how dumb they are for not supporting the bill that allows illegal immigration and sends the money to Ukraine and Israel.
60 billion Ukraine, 14 billion to Israel, 2-point-something billion to non-governmental organizations that are helping migrants along their journey here. Yeah.
So billions to the NGOs that are bringing everyone here.
Yeah, who should be prosecuted. Those NGOs should be prosecuted for committing crimes, right? Facilitating felonies, basically, violations of U.S. law.
And the thing about Crenshaw, which I really don't like, is obviously he calls everyone stupid and thinks he's smarter than everybody. But then he'll say things like, well, the money doesn't actually go to Ukraine. It goes in contracts and comes back to us in the form of blah, blah, blah. Okay, Dan, money doesn't go to Ukraine?
We're paying their pensions.
Okay, Dan.
Yeah. But you're right. He's got this total like condescending, like, I'm a lawmaker. I'm here. And this, I know how it needs to get done. I'm Dan.
Yeah.
I'm Dirty Dan Crenshaw with the fake eye patch. You know he has 2 eyes, right, guys?
It's not even he's got a fake eye.
Fake eye. He's incepted us.
Let's see it.
Pull it up. Pull it out.
Go like this. Let's see what's in there. I think it's a real eye.
And he does. He actually does.
No,
but
he does have a fake eye.
Not slander. But
we don't even care if
the
it's
point is
slander.
that energy, like, oh, you're so stupid. And then it's like you read the bill and you go, I'm stupid? I'm stupid, Dan? And it's so weird for him. I feel like he doesn't pop up that much. He pops up when it's a real rhino globalist corporate handshake deal.
He pops up to do some dumb shit.
Yeah. It's
really dumb shit.
It's very bad. And he's a climber. He wants to keep moving. He wants to go from Congress to Senate to this to the White House one day. And he's John McCain.
Yeah, he's John McCain, maybe worse, because John McCain at least was like hiding pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not the time to be John McCain. It was easy to be John McCain 30 years ago.
John McCain waited till the very end to do the bad shit, right?
Yeah, and like it was at a time where people weren't aware. Everyone's aware now when you're going to do John McCain shit, but he always will say, oh, I have a 95% conservative voting rate. I'm the most conservative, actually, if you compare my record, and all these other conservatives in the Freedom Caucus are actually not conservative.
Yeah.
Then why does everyone hate you, Dan?
What happened to your rep, Dan?
Yeah, if you have a 95% conservative voting record, that's like the hard part. Shouldn't everyone be on your side and like you?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you suck so bad? Why is everyone repulsed by you and not trust you? I don't know. And then also he says, oh, this bill will lower the illegal immigration. From what? The astronomically high level we're at right now?
Yeah.
It'll bring it down? We already have laws that say it's illegal to come here. Why do we need on paper to say there's a certain amount of illegal immigrants we can take a day? I think it's 5,000 a day.
Yeah, and it's written in the bill. And people are trying to say, no, it's not in there, but it's like the text. You can see the text.
It says it. And then 5,000 a day is like 1.8 million a year. So that's the plan, Dan? We need to get legally on paper the amount of illegals that can come. Why don't we just say none? Like the laws already
1.8 million a year after already letting in more than the population of, 44 states?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay. Just America and American, the phrase just means anybody who can get here.
Yeah, if you're inside the lines. Bill Maloogian had a good tweet about it as well. He said, interesting context, the $60 billion in Ukraine assistance in the Senate deal is larger than the entire budget of the U.S. Marine Corps requested for fiscal year 24, which was $53 billion.
Great.
We gotta go make the Marines in Ukraine work.
Yeah, and isn't Ukraine already kind of like down to the old guys and conscripts and shit?
Yeah, they're done.
They got blown out.
They got they lost generations of men.
Sad. That actually saddens me. And then warmongers and people who are trying to fund this shit just go, no, keep feeding them to the machine. Keep feeding them into the giant mashing teeth of war.
Grind them up.
And it's like, I'm like, these are real guys who are going to die because Russia has actual, abilities.
Yeah.
And then you look on the front page of Reddit every day and it's just some random like, oh, this Ukrainian drone got this Russian. And it's like, yeah, for every one of those, there's 10 Ukrainians blowed up.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
worse.
It's not, so it just is very upsetting. And, obviously the U.S. is still trying to fund the death of ethnics in Ukraine.
I have a little end times parlay I'd like to get on the record.
Okay, let's hear it.
Obviously, there's, I would say, 50 million illegals here total. So with that,
They're already counted in the census. They're already, they can vote in some local municipalities like in Vermont and shit.
so I think with that, there's going to be chaos in the cities. A lot of people with no means of making money who are going to gang up and do crimes. And I think what could happen with all this chaos and all these illegals here, you could get the deep state, the Dan types, to start promoting facial recognition in all the cities.
Yeah.
And then eventually, maybe I need a little chip in my hand so everyone knows I'm a citizen and who's who. And you kind of can almost wave in the mark of the beast.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what Dan wants to do.
That Dan Crenshaw said that.
You heard him here on the video. He said it.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. We have a little more things to break down in the bill itself. It also grants authority of future immigration disputes to a D.C. district court.
Yeah, you know how D.C. does it.
Can't send it to someone in El Paso?
Yeah.
D.C. district court's going to be in charge of immigration from here on out. It's probably like on some random page. And any future immigration stuff will be decided by these 9 Muppets from D.C.
That's how it is, man. Everything gets snuck in. When the bill comes up, it's like, who wrote this? And it's like some senator puts his name on it. But it's like, no, who wrote it?
Yeah.
And who was sneaking in whatever the fucking little cherry pick things they want in there? It's so frustrating. It's very blackpilling when you realize how many senators just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's very blackpilling because we had a system set up that wouldn't allow stuff to get out of hand. And then you have people that just circumvent the system to do bad guy stuff. And then you kind of think, well, we'll vote them out or we'll, pay our taxes and the taxes won't go to certain things. Like you can kind of like trust that. And then that trust is gone because they'll steal elections. They'll nuke us. They'll start wars we don't need to start. They'll lie about everything. They'll censor the truth. So it's like we're not even we're not even in a fair game up against the opponent. We're in an unfair game, and our opponent has like unlimited resources and trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And we're just 2 fat guys with a podcast, and one of us isn't even that fat anymore.
We're 2 fat guys with a podcast. One of us isn't that fat anymore. And that's the thing. They're just printing off money. It's not even money we have.
They're just making more.
Yeah, our tax receipts aren't even enough to pay for this shit. So we gotta give Israel money on credit.
Yeah.
Isn't that so fucking crazy?
That would be like going to the casino.
Going to the casino, cash advance. You're saying, I'm going to win it all back. But then you just give it to somebody else to gamble with.
Yeah.
So it's not even good.
It's impossible to win.
Yeah.
There was some math that was done in a tweet about the number of U.S. deaths versus the U.S. born population versus illegals coming in. Can you give that a quick read?
Yeah, replacement, the replacement conspiracy, the great replacement of Americans, white people too, specifically. Replacement conspiracy theory, America produces 10,000 babies per day. 8,000 Americans die every day. New immigration bill codifies letting 5,000 illegal migrants per day. Legal immigration stands at roughly 3,200 per day. Total, 3,000 net Americans are being produced per day. 8,200 net migrants are being produced per day, not including illegals not accounted for. Thought experiment. Calculate how many people will be produced by both groups, native versus migrants over 50 years, using 3,000 net natives at a birth rate of 1.7x versus 8,300 net migrants at 2.2x birth rate. Total people produced, native 54 million, migrants 151 million.
Half the country.
3x'd us.
Bye.
Yeah.
We're bye people.
Yeah. So we're fighting for our own existence with this shit. And Dan Crenshaw just sign it.
What are you, stupid?
What are you, dumb? Give the money to Israel, Ukraine. Get replaced.
Yeah. And then we kind of have Joe Biden. What does he think about all this? He spoke the other day, and this is what he had to say.
Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. And it was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, you know, why, how long are you back for?
Yeah. So Joe Biden was talking us up at the G7 meeting, and he referenced Mitterrand from Germany, who was actually the French president between 1981 and 1995, and he died in 1996.
So his wires are crossed. Alzheimer's boy, his wires are crossed.
So that's our guy
Yeah.
fighting for us too. Maybe the president will come over the top and stop it. No, not actually happening. And then there was, remember the cops that got stomped out by those illegals, then got released on no bail?
Yeah.
There was that, they were talking about that on CNN the other day. And they were going on about how they had like a huge rap each, like a huge rap sheet. All those guys had multiple crimes. And then listen to what happens at the end of this clip.
There's this 1%er, criminal element that looks at a different opportunity here. These individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday. Multiple charges: grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny, grand larceny. This particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth. One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here. They've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Great reporting.
So they do 10 crimes a day.
Yeah.
And some, I'm sure, fine people.
Yeah. I'm sure 1 every 20 is a normal guy who just wants to be an American. But fuck him too.
Time to update your worldview, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. That's
For these people?
That's the point. It's like CNN discovering something we covered on the podcast 4 months ago or 6 months ago, even more.
We figured it out.
Wow, the perverse incentive criminal justice system actually encourages people to do crime?
You have a 15,000 square foot studio.
Yeah, you probably make $300,000 a year to be on CNN. You didn't do any Googling on the side?
Figure out what's going on. We have like a $20 green screen in a spare bedroom here.
Yeah. No, just keep reading the teleprompter, bro. Like, it's not even...
Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And obviously, crime going down is very possible. We know the El Salvador graph and what that looks like. Here's the homicides.
Yeah.
The straight line down. You basically just arrest people who do homicides, and then the people who do homicides are in jail.
And then a couple of leftists will scream and say, no, you're authoritarian, you're a piece of shit. And then you win your reelection by getting 90% of the vote, though, because turns out people don't really like the face-tattooed murderers running the country. They'd rather have a little authoritarian guy clean up the place.
Yeah, and they don't care what some fat lesbian who went to NYU journalism school writes in some stupid newspaper.
Yeah, she went to Brown. She works at the LA Times, and she writes articles about how traffic is racist because white people don't have to smell it and black people do or something.
And then you go, oh, that doesn't matter.
Oh, we don't care about that. Yeah, we don't listen to you. Anybody else? Any normal people?
Yeah. And then also, last thing on this whole section, 53 million in prepaid debit cards for illegals in New York City.
Yeah, you may have seen 50 Cent react very negatively to this. New York City launches $53 million program to hand out prepaid credit cards to migrant families. And then here, this is what I was trying to say earlier, but Raw Egg Nationalist said it. Once upon a time, there was at least some pretense that Americans' tax dollars would actually benefit them. But now America is just a slush fund for the rest of the world, presided over by people who hate the American people and want them gone.
That's what it is.
And I think National Pulse had just reported something right before we walked into film, and it was about Massachusetts illegals where they're given free hotels. They take over the hotel. And I saw something that they give free diapers, Ubers, transportation like bus tickets, and then
3 meals a day too.
3 meals a day, of course. That's like the baseline. And then if someone comes in with a baby and they don't have a stroller, the hotel orders a stroller to be one-nighted from Amazon, brand new. So it's like, that's what, hey, Massachusetts taxpayers.
You could just move to New York.
What?
If you wanted to like make it in the big city and move to New York, just move to New York and get in one of these illegal spots.
Yeah.
And just live in the Roosevelt Hotel and have 3 meals a day and whatever you need and some money.
Exactly.
It's actually not bad. And all you need is no ID.
And then also,
like you just need to not have. You can have it in your pocket and go. I don't have an ID. I'm from Argentina, America.
Yeah, and then so back to the $53 million debit cards for illegals, which we've been reporting and talking more on the podcast about how much straight cash is being given to people. And this is a debit card, so there's a little bit of control, but it's cash or cash equivalents, right? And basically, you know how people always joke, we fought the Revolutionary War over like 1.5% tax and all this. At what point did cash start being so easily given out? I think if you want to give cash to anybody, especially non-citizens, you need like a supermajority or like an overriding veto amount of votes to be able to hand cash out to someone. We've agreed that you guys do the military. You spend the money on the military. You build bridges and, the train lines, give them guns, But when did cash start being handed out to people?
I'm going to tell you when, and you might just think I'm being a hater, but Obama
gave out the cell phones.
The cell phones, and then he gave it the cash to Iran on the pallets.
So I need to do some more research into that, but internationally speaking, we've always been a little wasteful when it comes to cash. Pallets of cash to Iraq, paying out suppliers, blah, blah, blah. But giving money to people in America, and then some who aren't even citizens.
Here illegally?
It makes me sick, right?
Isn't that like the worst? Give me them, or burn the money.
Burn the money, deflation.
Let's do a burn.
Yeah, and so let's do a burn like crypto.
Yeah.
It's all, but no, the point is it's all like government spending, inflation, and we're giving cash to migrants, and inflation's higher than ever, right?
We could do a burn.
We should.
A literal burn. All right, let's move on. Less political stuff, but we're still in housekeeping. Make sure you guys help us with the algo, tickle the post, juice the algo, like the video, leave a comment again, then start talking about what you want to talk about. Make sure notifications are on, and last but not least,
nothing.
Send us stuff to the P.O. Box.
We haven't checked the P.O. Box in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're going to get mad at us. They go, oh, we ain't your storage facility.
Yeah, and then it's these black people, they go, Fleccas Talks. and I go, yeah, don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
Don't look at our thumbnails.
This is a quick note. Shane Gillis is hosting SNL at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Good to see the full circle there. He got fired from there 5 years ago before he even went on,
Yep.
even though he's actually a funny comedian, but he made a joke about Chinese people that wasn't even offensive. So good. He never apologized, and it went full circle. He's going to win.
And also, he's like the class of people who did get the job that year in Shane Gillis's career versus the class of people who got that job. You know who won.
Yeah, SNL sucks.
Yeah.
They have like a diversity thing where they try to have one from each group, and because of that, no one's actually funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have like a lesbian, they have a fat guy,
Yeah.
or a Chinese man.
Yeah.
They have one from each.
Is Leslie Jones still on that show, just yelling every once in a while?
Last time I checked, she was, but she's probably not. I haven't checked in years.
For sure.
All right, Rohit. I don't know if you guys follow Rohit. He's one of my favorite people with an entertaining talent, or PET, or PET. Rohit quit fizzy drinks, so every day he makes a video about how he hadn't had fizzy drinks that day. No fizzy drink for me today. But he also has important messages that come after that update, and this one really stuck with me. So,
hello everyone, no fizzy drink for me today. This morning when I was going to the train station to park my car, I was visualizing the parking space near the entry. When I reached that station, I found one parking space near the entry and I parked my car. But the point which I would like to make is, every day whenever I go to work, whenever I park my car at the station, I try to get the parking near the entry. Most of the times I fail. Today I succeeded, that's fine. But the message which I would like to give here is, failure should not disappoint us. For me, whenever I fail, it even motivates me to try again. Keep trying until I succeed, like what happened today. I finally succeeded. So that's the most important thing. Failure is part of the process. That is really important to remember. And keep trying unless you succeed. Honestly speaking, if I fail 100 days continuously, I'll still try day 101. And no fizzy drink for me today.
And no fizzy drink. So the important message from the beginning, he can really go.
Yeah.
He's
a yapper in charge.
Yeah. He's got a big yappetite. He could go all day. But the important lesson was we said in the beginning about how he was going to the parking lot and he imagined
He visualized
an open spot.
Yeah.
And then he got there and there was an open spot.
Yeah.
Which tells me, which is me telling you, that your visualizations and your thoughts and prayers can impact the current realm and timeline we're in.
Okay.
So your beliefs can change reality, and your negative thoughts can also curse you. That's where it's important as well. They're both important, but if you speak negatively to yourself and you're not optimistic, things will go against you every time, and you'll prove yourself right. So that's just what I wanted to get out there. Visualizing is very important. I'll tell a quick story.
Stay positive.
I've told this in Bonus Land, but when I lived in LA before Fleccas Talks and I was trying to be a comedian, I would go to the Comedy Store once every 3 weeks, once a month or so. And I would sit in this chair every time to the right, which was in front of the piano guy who was like the MC, and he was just doing like the in-between music and whatever for the comedy show. And every time they had a house performer go up, the second guy would always say, hey, before I do my set, I want to acknowledge someone in the room who's the most talented at what they do. They're world-renowned, award-winning, best in the game. And then he would point to the piano guy. But he would basically be pointing to me.
So you get in the way a little bit.
So I was like, in the way, but I stood in front of them. Everyone would look over and clap and look at me. And that made me feel like I was the world-renowned best in the game, just won an award type thing.
Smart.
So I would do that every week. And then it's like I had the accomplishment of being a world-renowned best in the game person without having to do the work.
Okay.
And so
that felt good for you.
That felt good for me, but it also showed me that it's possible to succeed and be the best at something. I already had the experience. All you have to do is be the best part.
Yeah.
So you already had the end result. So that would like fuel me, and like it made me realize it was possible because I basically already experienced it before I experienced it, even though I hadn't done any of the work yet. And look at me now. I have a fat racist podcast with my best buddy.
It's that easy. And so you got to be fat. No. You didn't say that. You got to be positive and then delusional. And then when those two mix together and plus add a couple 100 pounds and baby, you got a stew going.
Yeah. Get an extra bedroom and a green screen from Amazon.
Yep. And you can talk shit to Dan Crenshaw whenever you want.
And he gets mad. He listens.
Oh, you're mad, Dan. You're
Dan's
mad.
Do you know Dan goes around St. Pete? He went around St. Pete giving a little speech the other day. Or the last few months, like in Florida, Tampa area. And he says that there's some influencers, some of you may know, who are the establishment, and Dan said that he's actually the real populace, and the influencers are the new establishment.
Yeah, good luck, Dan, with that message.
Yeah, Dan, I bet. All right, let's go to our next clip, the 4 haircuts for $1,200.
Yeah, what happened here?
I'll show you guys how I made $1,230 only doing 4 haircuts. This was my first cut at 9:45 a.m. He just gets his beard lined up. This was $200 right here. This was my second cut at 11 a.m. He doesn't like to be on camera, so I just recorded us shaking hands. He shot me $275. This was my third cut at 12:30. He gets a mid-drop fade and his beard done as well. He shot me $270. And my fourth appointment ended up canceling the morning of, so he sent me $225 for missing. And this is my last appointment and 4th haircut of the day. This is a new client. He got a taper with like a mullet and he got his beard done as well. He shot me $260. And the total came out to $1.
So he made $1,200 from doing 4 haircuts in one day.
Some guy just got his beard lined up and paid $200 to this guy.
Is he sucking these guys?
Yeah, what is he doing? What's the thing? What happened?
If you pay $2 something for a haircut and you get a haircut every couple weeks or whatever, that's
if you're this type of guy, you have to get it cut every 2 weeks because you got these sharp lines and shit.
Yeah. So that's like $6,000 a year on haircuts.
Mm-hmm. So invested into the S&P 500 at an average of 10% a year, that would be.
I But I
thought you were a delusional math guy.
No, I just can't listen to the numbers.
Okay.
But I'm going to apply it to myself.
Yeah.
Now, I cut my own hair with the dog clippers.
Yes, the dog clippers.
Which, of course, means I'm now allowed to gamble up to $6,000 a year that I would have spent on haircuts.
No, I don't think so. I asked a few friends. I asked a friend of ours who gets his hair cut from like a guy who comes and does it. And I was like, how much do you spend? And he's like, 50 plus tip. So I think black people are getting bamboozled by barbers.
I used to go to the barber and it was $20.
Yeah. And I think prices went up, obviously, like everything. But
they line you up. I get that, but
I don't know. So if you learn how to line up your own beard with a straight razor, it's apparently a $6,000 a year skill for the rest of your life. I don't know.
Yourself. All right, last piece of housekeeping, the battle rap. This is
really quick.
Really quick.
This is my area, and I'm afraid to fuck you because your ass is full of bacteria.
Cooked him.
That's it.
That's all I wanted to show you guys. All right, that is the end of housekeeping. Moving on to Cringe of the Week. Before we get to Cringe of the Week, we have a very special announcement from FleccasTalks.com. Or actually, it's just from the show in general.
Yeah.
Guys, we are doing a Refer a Friend program. Now, if you love the show and you have some friends that are maybe like-minded but aren't too political and you want to involve them in politics, I have an idea for you. I am giving out up to 100 t-shirts.
Oh.
And it's going to be for the Refer a Friend program. So basically, you send a message to the group chat of like-minded friends or directly to a like-minded friend, and you say something like, hey guys, with all the crazy stuff going on in politics, I wanted to recommend Fleccas Talks the podcast. They get it all correct and are really funny. I'm not a huge podcast watcher myself, but this show is different. Doesn't that sound like
It's a good pitch.
I'm not a big podcast guy, but this isn't a real podcast. This is different.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to sell people. And if you send me a screenshot of you sending it to at least 2 people, refer a friend times 2, you will get a 50-50 coin flip chance at a t-shirt.
Where's that 50-50 coin flip being done? At your desk? Just randomly?
I'm gonna have the DM. I'm gonna open it. And I'm gonna tap a coin in my pocket, and I'm gonna flip it. And if it's heads, you get a shirt. If it's tails, you don't even get a reply.
Okay.
But there is a chance to win a shirt of your choice, probably the Fleccas Talks podcast shirts, all for referring a friend, and it helps the show. The show, obviously, is my favorite thing in the world. Ratboy loves it too. You guys seem to enjoy it.
And also, here's the algorithm. We fight with the algorithm all day. You guys tickle, we win a little bit. We use bad words, algorithm hits back, right? This is beyond the algorithm. This is word of mouth, man-to-man shit.
This is what they can't take from us.
Yep.
But this is what they also can't stop.
Exactly.
So we need you guys to refer a friend. If 1,000 people refer 2 people, that's 2,000 people, and it's not even a lot.
Hey, if Somalians can do chain migration all the way to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and elect one of their henchmen to the Congress,
that's a great point.
We can get some podcast listeners.
Chain migration to podcast watchers. So send me the screenshot of 2 people you sent it to with that little copy I gave you.
Yep.
And I'm not real big podcast guy, but this is different. That's the key line. Because people are going to go, I don't like podcasts.
It's Wolf of Wall Street shit.
Read
Something just came across my desk.
All right, Cringe of the Week. We have a great cringe. We only have 2 pages of cringe, but they are packed.
Okay.
The gay dad with the kids.
Yep.
Let's start there.
We have a gay dad. Of course we have disco balls and rainbows all over the house. Why can't just rainbows be for kids?
Because while I was fighting for the rainbow, all you were doing is just drawing it while you had drool all over your face, looking like drunk little toddlers.
We have a gay dad. Of course he got us a dog to match our home. We have a gay dad. Of course he has more facial products than Sephora.
All this leads to is a 30th high school reunion to take all the attention away from all of those bullies that made fun of me who now look 60.
We have a gay dad. Of course he has a closet full of wigs and weird outfits.
It didn't stop you guys from having fun.
We have a gay dad. Remember the time he grounded me for 2 weeks just because I didn't know the difference between fuchsia and magenta?
You're lucky it wasn't a month.
All right, we get the point. It's kind of obvious. Cliche.
Gay, at a certain point in 1994, it was like, oh, snappy, gay, witty, Will and Grace. This guy's doing all the cliches with his kids.
Oh, you know the colors, you know fuchsia, and you have some snarky quips, and you hijack some kids and put them on TikTok?
Yeah.
It's kind of on the nose. It's a little obvious. Oh, you like RuPaul? No way.
You're actually a dime a dozen today.
Yeah, everyone's like that. That's every man in America.
Yeah,
that's the entire military.
Yeah, exactly. 85% at least, right?
85% of the military is trans.
And also this trend is supposed to be we're kids with a gay dad, we do this. And then we're kids with a gay dad, we do this. And then all of a sudden the gay dad's popping in. He's shoehorning himself into the content.
We're kids with a gay dad. Of course our dad's 60% of camera time.
Yeah, exactly. What happened?
Of course it's all about the gay dad.
I don't know. It's just so boring now.
Yeah, gays used to stand out.
Now you're a dime a dozen. You don't get points for this anymore. And all the shit you said, what? You have facial products, a very emotional high school bully thing that you still carry with you 30 years later, a closet full of gay shit, colors. It's like you guys are done. That's a dime a dozen.
And he was saying, oh, I spent years fighting for the rainbow. To what? Steal it from Christians?
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Also, no, you didn't. You just sucked the guy in high school and kept doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like most of these people, what did you do?
Exactly. I was going to say something, but I didn't.
All right, good.
Because it would have deleted the channel.
Hey, speaking of which, are we going to do the VR thing at all?
That's going to be in bonus land.
What? All right.
We have a good bonus land. It's too
I was
vulgar.
gonna say, let's just do it now when we have this guy here. But all right, whatever.
We're doing it in bonus land. FleccasTalks.com is the website. Make sure you guys join.
Teaser for bonus land. What do you think a gay guy would do with the Apple VR glasses?
We're gonna list it.
We're gonna list a lot.
So make sure you guys join. FleccasTalks.com is the website. 4 hours of exclusive content for
Hey, I didn't mean to get you into an ad read here.
Well, I have to. If you're gonna bring up FleccasTalks.com bonus land.
All right.
Of course. So next clip, woman on the flight deck. So there was 3 women. It says, my genuine reaction to seeing a flight deck with 3 amazing and powerful female pilots for the first time. So they're all crying and they're all sad and emotional. And there's the pilots. One of them's Asian.
Yeah.
So I'd probably be crying too.
Yeah, me too. In the business class seats, lie flat.
I might even, if I got on that plane and they showed me that flight deck, I might what's it called? Like it's like a federal crime when you make them go back to the gate or whatever, or you open the door again or something. I'm doing that. I'm off.
Yeah, you open the door and then the slide inflates and it costs $250,000 in FAA fines, but you eat it just to not have the all women crew.
There's like a rule, like, oh, once the door's closed, we can't open it. You're opening it for me because I'm getting off.
This is the same thing though, like as the gay dad. You're a dime a dozen, but you know, there's always been women pilots. And now you're going to see 3 of them in a row and then cry? You cry like that?
Doesn't that prove that we shouldn't have... Isn't it like a bad woman reaction for...
Yeah.
Look how strong our women are. They're so strong. Women are so good. You're crying? It's like...
You just cry? That's what I'm saying. These solutions and the emotional handling of this is not conducive to a strong pilot who reacts to emergency situations, right?
You're proving our point. All right, let's go to the free pass. This is from the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Like, for example, if their wife was like, you know what? That girl wants to sleep with you. You know what? I don't care, baby. Go ahead. Here's a free pass. They would take it.
Will you take it?
Me?
Yeah.
Women don't dictate shit about how I do things. And that's how a lot of men that make money think. Men don't go out there and become successful and everything else like that to have a woman dictate how the fuck they're going to live their life. The thing that made me attractive in the first place is because I live my life on my terms. I'm not going to give that up because I get a girl.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're immediately putting a ceiling on the relationship trust-wise because the guy's going to do what he wants, and if there's a hot girl that wants to sleep with him, he's going to do it, and he's not going to care what anyone else thinks. Instead of thinking for the unit he built, which is like a marriage, it's more of, I got your back, and we're on a team, unless I need to break our trust in like the most brutal way because some girl at a club wants to have sex with me.
Yeah, I can't imagine only talking about relationship dynamics for your entire content career. You know, we moved from Rohit to the illegal immigrants
to schizophrenia,
the twink dad who's taken 60% of the screen time.
Dan Crenshaw and our illegal immigration.
And this guy just goes, no, men and women should be like this and not like that.
Yeah.
And then brings in another girl to talk about it.
Yeah. And then also we've talked about this on Bonus Land a little bit. We've gone a little further into this. I think a problem with these dating podcasts is it teaches men how to date trashy bottle girls in Miami.
Yeah.
Who want to go to like 5-star restaurants and have someone buy them a bag. And then it teaches women how to date someone who's like an NBA player that's going to cheat on you.
A douchey NBA player who might be in Miami for another 6 months before he signs a contract and goes to Sacramento or something.
Yeah. So it's like completely not reality. And if you listen to the advice and you're a guy, you'd be like, oh, I need to drive a Maybach and I need to be in the club spending $10,000. And I need to make at least $1 million a year. Because if I don't, she's going to leave me for anyone who's within eyeshot who makes more money than me.
Yeah.
Or who's more of a baller or has more fame than me. So I need to work until I'm there. And I'm not. And then you're like, you never would settle down because you're never going to be at that level that these people tell you need to be to not have a bad relationship where you get cheated on or she leaves you for someone better. It's not reality. All you need to do is find one person and you're done. And then you go, good luck, everyone else. Sorry, the dating world sucks and everyone's gay. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Last piece of cringe. The black anti-white supremacist advocate. So this lady basically says that being on time is evidence of white supremacy.
As a racial justice advocate, I'm often invited to give talks or to do workshops where I talk to white people about race.
A big part of my praxis is to offer real life stories, examples, that type of thing, that help white people to be able to identify white supremacy in everyday life. My husband's family is white, and I often use the cultural differences between my family and his family as a way to help white people see their whiteness. There's one example that I use that always gets a ton of pushback. My husband and I were late to our first Thanksgiving with his family. I say late because it started at 12. We got there at 12:10, but whenever we got there at 12:10, everybody was already sat down and eating. I didn't know that. I use this illustration to point out that different cultures have different understandings of time, lateness, and what it means to be polite. Without fail, a white person will push back and say that lateness is impolite. I always use this as a teachable moment. I usually ask a series of pointed questions that challenge their assumptions. Sometimes it takes a lot of work, but by the end they're able to identify how white cultural dominance works in this one small area of life, which opens the door for them to start.
So according to her, white culture deems being late as rude, and instead of respecting cultural norms of a good society that she lives in, she demands that society change its concept of rudeness to accommodate her behavior.
Exactly. You're getting it.
Which is like a major tenet of anti-racism.
Of course.
So if something is racist if black behavior is punished or looked down on because of it. So grades are racist if black students fail. Cops are racist because black people are locked up. And being on time is racist because black people show up late, I guess she's saying.
I think so. I think she's admitting it, yeah.
She kind of like reinvented black people time. You know that BPT is a joke because like black people are late. It's a stereotype. It's a joke. It's like a trope or whatever.
Yeah.
She's kind of like she's pro that.
She went full circle back to it and then defending it. And my whole point of this is, and then she talks about how after asking a few pointed questions and doing this, it's like you're doing a struggle session against people who disagree with you. And they kind of want to get out of the conversation after the fact.
Exactly.
So they just go, okay, that sounds about right. If you asked an alien, hey, there's a black and white dispute down here. Some people are on time, some people are off time. The alien would go, wait, what? You show up late even though you agreed to something?
Both sides agreed. It doesn't have to do with race.
Yeah, the alien would agree with us. But yeah, and that's a theme that we explored. We were talking about this in Bonus Land last week, which was a prediction that I made, which I want to get on the full show on the books. Because you know how these types are always saying black and brown people and then white people? I have a feeling they brought back colored people time. Mm-hmm. They're openly advocating for that now and saying that's just part of life. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to start calling Asian people yellow again.
Ooh, heard it here first.
Black and brown, black and brown. But Asians they're not lumped in with black and brown. So I think they're going to bring back yellow because they want to discriminate against them, and they're not white technically. So
I'd like to add to that parlay yellow, and then I'm also going to bring back the hold your eyes.
Oh, you should do it. Do it right now.
Can't. It's illegal.
Oh, I was doing that so much in the 90s, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it off camera right after this episode,
Maybe
too.
in Bonus Land. All right, let's go to our next clip. This woman tells us that black people are oppressed because black women make less money, but she has a solution.
Hey, white men. Due to systemic and structural racism that black women have had to endure, they only make 64 cents to every dollar that you make. So, as a fitting start to Black History Month, I want to take what you will make today, multiply it by 64%, and then take that difference and give it to some black women today.
At least she knows we can do math.
Yeah, she trusts us. She doesn't have to explain that you multiply it by 0.64 and all that. And this is a doctor. This woman's a doctor who's just yapping about giving money to black people. And you know what's interesting to me? That other girl reinvented colored people time. This girl is just reinventing begging. It's just begging. You're begging for money, but you're doing it in a way where there's racism and oppression involved, so it's cool.
And a viral TikTok sound in the background.
Yeah, so it's e-begging, and you're a doctor. Why don't you help your people out?
That's a good point. It's like, I'm a Vietnam vet. The VA forgot me. I need a little help.
Yeah, would you mind sparing some change? It's like, that's his pitch. Your pitch is like some roundabout thing where black people make less money because of systemic and oppressive whatever. And we're just supposed to ballpark it and dump the money in. It's like, yeah, that's your angle.
Yeah, exactly. So with this, it's like black success is reliant entirely on white people.
White charity or white people allowing you to be late and then not firing you from your job because you're constantly late to meetings that start at 10?
Yeah. And then also, which is similar to the last video as well, there's like a trend here where while, everyone's oppressed, no one makes as much money, it's okay to be late, that kind of thing. The inverse becomes true also, where if you're a successful white person, it's at the expense of an oppressed colored class.
Of course, it's 1 for 1.
So if you make $100,000 as a white guy and then 64% of whatever for black women, it's like that white guy is actually not just doing his job and getting paid normal money.
He's taking that money.
He's taking that money and he's like actively oppressing everyone who makes less than him.
Yeah.
And that's the way they look at the world. It's very much like take from one to give to the other.
Exactly. But when you're importing 3 million illegals, that doesn't matter. All of a sudden that argument's over, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's very selective. Well, we're moving on. Don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to, or actually we could play that clip.
Okay.
There was a woman pastor who really humiliated herself.
My name is Pastor L. I use pronouns like she or they, pastor to a group of unhoused folks. Before we get started, I wanted to just name something too from the reading from Corinthians. You might have noticed that we didn't read one part out loud, and that's because it's yikes. But really, in this letter to the Corinthians, Paul's being kind of a jerk. We wanted to just sort of name that right out, even before we got started with anything else, the way that we can look at the way our traditions, the way that our scriptures have been used to harm our siblings, and to be accountable for that.
Oh, man.
It's so funny because that like white woman cadence that she uses where it's like, it's kind of yikes. Like they'll be doing that all the way up to, yeah, so hop on the train. You'll be going to the gulag because what you posted was cringe.
Yeah.
It's
you're going to be unalived.
Yeah. That cadence. And then, we're going to let some unhoused people harvest your fields and you no longer own any property because what you did was yikes.
Yeah. Some of the Bible's a little too harsh, says the woman pastor.
Oxymoron.
Like, this whole thing, I think it's like I'm not involved in this. I want to leave as soon as possible.
Yeah.
All right, well, don't get too down or too depressed. It's going to get a little worse. We're moving on to urban decay.
But there's some funny urban decay.
We got some good urban. The gifted and talented bus beatdown. We'll start there. We have an article that just came out, New York Post.
Yeah, it's just the headline, a new euphemism just dropped. NYC gifted and talented students arrested after horrific, caught on camera, bus beatdown. Weirdo should have died is the quote at the end of that.
So gifted and talented students, and there's that meme of the guy pumping his gas in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah, for every euphemism the New York Post provides, they just put it over this guy pumping his gas, looking over his shoulder. Gifted and talented students could be here. He thought, I hate gifted and talented students. Of course.
So is this reverse clickbait? Or is it a creative writing exercise? Like,
I think it's ad-lib type shit where they just go, all right, we can't say pack of black teenagers did it again because that would be every article.
Yeah.
So we need, what were they doing? Where were they? They were on the bus to the gifted school. There it is. Like, you got it. Print it, toots. Yeah. It's like an old 1950s newsroom.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I don't know. If it's a white crime, they say white kid did this to black kid, but they got to hide it.
So we have put together a new term with one of the show watchers for when the media or public figures do anti-white propaganda or propaganda that covers up black crime or overinflates black contributions to society.
Including revisionist history, like when a black woman was in the Parliament of the UK in 1881, you know.
The black ladies with their calculators landed us on the moon.
Exactly. Specifically Netflix type shows, right?
Yeah. So whenever they rewrite history to include or overinflate the black contribution or anti-white propaganda, stuff like that, we're calling it MLK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you see it out there, if you see this headline, gifted students beat down someone on a bus, beat up old lady.
Yeah.
It's MLK Ultra.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go to the Walmart fight. Next is the Walmart fight. This is nothing crazy, just a standard Walmart fight.
Oh my God, they got the body. They got the body. It's up.
All right, we get it.
Yeah.
So, obviously, trash behavior.
Yeah. If I was a New York Post writer, I would say beleaguered shoppers break into brawl.
Self-checkout shoppers.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Alliteration is important. So it would be like self-checkout chumps.
Yeah.
It needs to sound
Choked
good.
out.
Yeah, choked out. Exactly. Choke out granny in brawl. Yeah.
And I feel like obviously we're seeing a lot of stuff like this because of social media and it's going viral. But I do think that these types of fights and public outbursts are worse than ever.
Of course.
And
yeah.
like escalating.
Yeah. You guys, we've had cell phones with pretty high quality video for the last 15 years at this point.
In the last like 2018.
Yeah.
Like the last like 5 years, 6 years, it's like really gotten bad. It's
ramped
gotten up. And I found this picture online of black women in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
No one's pulling anyone's weave out.
Yeah.
That's
No
a
one
nice
listening
group.
to Sexy Red or anything like that. Those ladies go to church.
They go to church. They know recipes that their moms told them. They're going to pass their recipes on to their kids. They go to church. They wear nice outfits. They take pride.
Now people fight in their pajamas at Walmart, and it's the self-checkout. Anyway, there's nothing even to fight over.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on. The guy resisting arrest. So this person is getting arrested by a bunch of New York City cops on the subway. And look how the cops are treated.
You fucking hate you too. I know. I got him on record too. You about to change the age.
So the guy's got his legs wrapped around the pole.
This is not necessary, man. Look, why you fucking him up like that? Yo. You're gonna get tased. Back up. Why you hit me? Back up. Hey, you hit me. Your hands. Hey, tase him. No, y'all fucking. Yo. Y'all fucking him up.
So clearly the guy is resisting arrest.
He's clinging to the pole with his legs and his arms after being told, hey, you're under arrest. Come with us.
Yeah, and they're treating it like the cops are doing this out of nowhere. It's not like they're stopping a guy and like doing stop and frisk and giving people a hard time, which I'm not even upset with. I don't mind stop and frisk. But it's not even like it's like an up for debate situation. The guy is under arrest and he's holding onto the pole. The cops aren't going to go, he's holding on pretty tight.
He's holding on pretty tight. Some people are heckling us. Let's just back away slowly.
Let's just get the fuck out of here.
And then everybody who's chirping while these cops are trying to do their job and get a criminal into custody, every single one of them has been born in a time where their entire life the police have been able to arrest people. You know? It's not like, oh, what the fuck? This is a new thing that happens. Like, cops can come in and just take you.
We got one of those metal clasps. We're holding his hands together.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I ain't never seen that before. That's new to me. But so, like, they reject the premise that police can even arrest anybody in New York on the subway, right?
Yeah.
So it's confusing to them or something. I don't get it.
The public now is just like automatically siding with criminals.
Yeah. The default setting is not those 6 NYPD guys working hard.
Who are all different races and like Muslim and black.
You see that guy who hustled in there and started barking orders?
The Latino type.
I like that energy though.
Yeah, you're gonna get tased.
Yeah. Start threatening and you never.
But everyone's automatically on the criminal side because it's like the George Floydification of America.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, George Floyd.
Thanks, GF.
All right, let's go to the car thief, the noble car thief. So this guy catches a guy hot wiring his car, and look at what happens.
You can record me all you want. I was trying to run away. I was running away from the police. I'm not from around here. Bro. Record me all you want, bro. I don't care. Record me, bro. Record me. Record me. Yeah, I took that off. Yeah, I did. How I took that off.
All right, so...
Okay, go ahead. Question me. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No. So, what are we doing here? Can I get in my car and
get the fuck out of here? You can get in your car. Huh? You can what?
Can I get out of here?
Yeah. What, you think I'm going to like try to attack you or something? I'm not
yeah, all right. Well, then...
You think I'm going to try to attack you? I got face tattoos and tools in my hand, and I'm halfway through hot wiring your car. What's the problem?
You think I'm going to attack you? No, I draw my line at stealing your car right in front of you. I don't go above that. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, what's your problem?
And
he's like the victim. He's the victim.
Yeah, what, are you filming me? Go ahead, ask your questions. And then also, it's like, there's a certain extent where in the last 10 years, right, nobody would ever be like, oh shit, I'm being filmed actively stealing a car. It would be like, cover your face and immediately flee the scene as much as you can to protect your identity because that's a felony on camera.
Especially if you have easily identifiable face tattoos.
The easily identifiable, but this guy's like, what's up, man? Q&A.
What do you want?
So isn't that
stop stealing your car? Okay.
Isn't that such a bad reflection of how much people don't fear like repercussions for minor-ish crimes? Like the car didn't end up actually getting stolen. I just took the box off and got caught red-handed in the act of a crime, but
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. The cops won't come and get me for that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an indictment of like the expectation of being actually policed in America. Like this guy, it's like, I got you at 1080. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah. You're talking to me right now.
Yeah, we'll have a voice comparison too when the time comes.
Noble criminal though.
Yeah, he stops right under physical harm. So
Yeah, that's nice. All right, last piece of urban, the 10K lump sum for the single mom. You're more of an expert on the story than me.
Yeah, so DC, this is from Washington, D.C., which had a program that randomly gave poor parents $10,800, and the parents could either take it as a lump sum or 12 monthly payments. And what did they do with the money? The Washington Post profiled some winners. First, Kenethia Miller, who took a 6K trip to Miami and bought her kids new outfits every day. Right? So I'm just going to read from this article, but you know, you get a life-changing, like you got selected, basically won the lottery for a 10 grand lump sum. And, you know, what are you going to do? Buy a car, do something that'll give you, you know, send your kid to a welding school or something like that.
No, you take a 6K trip to Miami.
6K trip to Miami.
And if you had
sounds
gotten
good.
that not lump sum and it was $1,500 a month or something, it would have been a $1,500 trip to Miami.
Exactly. She was going to Miami no matter what. And so some of it, I'm reading a quote from her right now. She goes, some of it I just left alone. The other side is I wanted to blow it. I wanted to have fun, she said. My kids got to experience something I would have never been able to do if I didn't have that money. The 5-day, $6,000 trip to Miami was a dramatic upgrade from the Ocean City and Virginia Beach visits that Miller's family was used to. Joined by the children's father, Washington Post, you mean the baby daddy? Use their language when you're writing an article about them. A boat tour exposed them to million-dollar homes and luxury yachts. Her kids went to a dinosaur museum and saw animals in Florida's swamps they had never seen before. Miller still talks about trying Benihana, a Japanese steak and sushi restaurant, for the first time.
And we got Benihana.
Yeah. Some of the money went towards preparations for the trip, new clothes, shoes, gadgets, toys. Every outfit they wore was new, she added. In what she called a rare moment of self-indulgence, Miller spent $180 ahead of the vacation to get her hair and nails done, a glow-up from her usual inexpensive short dyed hair. So, and you ready for the news? The city of Washington, D.C. is continuing the program.
Yeah. It's going good.
It's going great. It's exactly what it's meant for.
Yeah.
So taxpayers to illegals, taxpayers, you're funding Ukraine and Israel, and you're also just funding 6K irresponsible-ass trips to Miami with a baby daddy.
You could have started a small business. You could have bought like a power washing machine and started a power washing business. You could have bought like a
hot dog cart.
Yeah,
you know,
a hot dog cart or a steam vacuum and been like, oh, we're cleaning upholstery. Nah, we got new outfits.
We got
a hair dish.
We saw a crocodile.
You probably even say it wrong too. We saw an alligator.
That was on purpose.
It's like, it's a crocodile.
Exactly. It's the opposite. It's the opposite.
It's the opposite. All right. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have great Uplifting Gold today.
Really good.
Well, I don't know actually.
The Uplifting Gold is all the photos from that 6K Miami trip. Let's go through them one by one.
Here's, the kids need to learn what it's like to be rich so they are motivated to be rich.
That's what she said. That when they went and saw the $1 million houses and went on a boat tour, she was like, they need to see what it's like.
And it's like, aren't they going to see that and then realize their life is like so drastically different and then feel hopeless and be like, oh, I have to sell drugs or be in the NBA to make it there?
You can go find a realtor in Miami's Instagram and find that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, you could get a free experience.
Yeah. All right.
Everyone's so stupid but us. All right. Uplifting Gold.
Especially Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah, especially Dan. We know you're watching, Dan.
Dan, if you stayed this long, what are you, 5'7"?
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. I don't mean to.
5'7" and a fake eye.
Fake eye.
All right. The guy catches his first fish. I wonder how this will be actually not uplifting.
Now it's on. Pick it up. Reel in slack. Lift up. There you go. Find it.
Oh, Brandon, I've caught a fish. Oh, my God, get the camera. Oh, it's a bass. It is.
You got him. Hold up.
Oh, my God, get the camera. Oh, my God.
Isn't it a bag? Oh my God, it is.
Now you have to kiss it.
Brandon, I caught a fish. I want to leave it on the line where I can take a piece of it. I want you to hold it. You put your finger in its mouth.
So the guy caught a fish. Make sure you take your kids fishing when they're young so they don't become gay.
Yeah, that's smart.
That's the uplifting angle here.
I was wondering. I thought the video something was going to happen, but yeah,
just a
twink catching his first fish and at the age of 56.
Yeah.
All right.
Could have prevented that, maybe.
0 for 1 on Uplifting Gold.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Fast and Furious quotes in public. These people are at a car show, like a coffee and cars type thing, and they're doing Fast and Furious quotes. This is uplifting, undeniably.
Nice car.
Yeah, man.
It's the retail on one of those.
More than you can afford. Smoke them. Smoke them? What does smoke them mean? Race.
Yeah,
2G buy-in. Oh. $2,000 buy-in? Well, my 59 MGA won't keep up with it, so.
Well, here's the thing. I don't have any cash.
Okay.
But I do have the pink slip to my car.
You think you can climb in the ring just because you think you can box?
He knows I can box. So check it out. It's like this. I lose. Winner takes my car clean and clear. But if I win, I take the cash and I take the respect.
Respect?
To some people, that's more important.
Look, he's a cop. This guy, he's a cop.
He's a cop.
Exactly.
I'm not a cop.
That's what I like.
Hey, there's a certain amount of fucking just balls that it takes to go and do the Fast and Furious lines at the car meet in the stupid outfit. So
You
that's
gotta bring
Chad.
it.
That's Chad, and we know him. Those guys do, like, not in real life, but those guys do the the city council content. Chad and JT and shit.
To
So
hit your lines on, there's no editing.
There's
You-
no-
You
yeah.
hit your lines with the guy. That's really respect.
Yeah. Hey, family.
Pink slips. Now. All right, let's go to the ski trick. This is
right.
just something. If some of you guys can do this on the mountain and shout out the podcast,
yeah,
I'll send you $150.
Whoa,
it's a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
But only to the first person. I can't get like
You
100
can't
people.
keep chinging the $150 register.
So-
no, and there's like 3 months of ski season left, or not 3, but at least 2, right?
Yeah, so get it going. So basically, they come down, and then the snowboarder becomes the seat, and he uses the skis to propel his arms and body, and now you got a ski seat.
Yeah.
That's important.
Symbiotic relationship between skiers and snowboarders.
It's very scientific as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the person who recorded their wedding proposal. This is good. POV, I shouldn't be trusted to record my friend's proposal. I'm reading good today, by the way. He records the raccoon. He zooms in, and then he goes back, and he missed it.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty good. That's uplifting.
Yeah, that is uplifting.
You see, it's uplifting because when you laugh at it, it's funny.
That's fun. And there's nothing better than laughing with your friends. So
And
you're right.
there may be tens of millions of illegals around every corner trying to steal your country from you.
Mm-hmm.
But funny raccoon videos are out there too.
Exactly. And you're right. If you laugh at Uplifting Gold, then Uplifting Gold served its purpose.
Yeah. This says married half guy, but I don't remember what that means.
Yeah, it's this guy right here.
Oh, there. Now I immediately remember.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. And this is uplifting because, well, actually...
Shuffling down the aisle. No dad.
Yeah, no dad to walk him down. And he's also in a wedding dress.
So he's the girl.
So he's the girl in a homosexual relationship.
Yep. No dad.
No dad.
And there he is. Everybody's watching.
And someone...
They pick him up and put him on a chair? What happens? Or does he...
They
he
drag
takes
him
him
around.
away.
They take him around. Here's the first dance they do.
Oh,
They
my
put him on a
God.
table so they can kiss.
That's so embarrassing for the guy who's doing it.
Look
to
at them
him.
swinging him around.
Oh, my God.
I wonder what the honeymoon's going to be like. Probably a lot. They've already been doing it.
Yeah.
No one waits till marriage. Yeah,
All right.
so we get it. But
We're done with that little
You want to
twink.
describe what they're up to or anything?
I was going to say some dark shit that
Yeah.
would also get us deleted. So.
Let's just not. Yeah. Let's go to our last clip of the entire show. The little kid boating. The little kid doing a boat launch with it. You look at that. Perfectly done. And then he gets on a boat?
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
Yeah, this little kid does the full thing.
That's pretty good. So he launches it and he puts it back on and gets out.
Hell yeah.
That's real boating.
Yeah.
That's a fun experience for a kid.
I know. That's as
You
good
can
as
go
it
get on the
gets.
boat and then go fishing.
Yeah, you ain't got no boat. That little kid got a boat.
That's embarrassing for me.
I know. You're paying out $150 to anybody who does a stupid ski trick. You could be buying a boat.
That's true. It's only $150.
You're right.
You're right. You're right, too.
We're both right.
All right, another Fleccas Talks in the books.
That was easy.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleccasTalks.com for another bonus land, 30-minute bonus land dropping right now. We have really good topics. We have a rip-off section. We talk about the gay guys using VR and what they're up to with it.
Yeah, dog park, Jarvis, dog park, monkeypox, vaccine appointment.
Grinder. Someone to get sucked later. A video of someone getting sucked now. It's all mostly suck-based.
We basically gave away the bit, but we're going to go deeper into bonus land.
Yeah, we're going to go deeper in the bonus land.
Oh.
Very deep in bonus land. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you on Friday. Yeah.
This is my area, and I'm afraid to fuck you because your ass is full of bacteria.